Who does the intro? Do you want me to do the
you
intro?
Do it, mate, you do it.
This is Adam. This is Adam Thompson, and he's a gangster. He's a top G.
God, you're a good liar.
No, so I thought I'd get you on because obviously a few of your businesses are quite relevant in this day and age, especially with the Consider Energy that you own, right? Okay, so tell me a bit about what you currently own, because I know your kind of story from back in the day when you were at uni, and you've always been an entrepreneur, I think, anyway. So
I've certainly played some games. That's back in the day.
Yeah, so what are you on with at the moment? I think there's 3, isn't there?
Yeah, so Consider Energy, which is the one that's hot topic right now, and I'd say that's probably takes up 90% of my time at the moment.
That's the one then.
The business split, yeah. And recently we started a company called Villamore, and even more recent than that, a telecoms company called Social Comms UK.
Okay.
All of them are really busy, really busy, but business is hard at the minute, so we're all working pretty hard on them.
Good, mega. So Consider Energy, it is doing what, in a nutshell, for people that don't know?
So we're B2B energy consultancy, so we deal with all of the main suppliers, and we broker or tender company deals, and then bring back those, present them to business owners like yourself, and then you would pick your favourite supplier, and that's our role, just
so in a
brokering
nutshell,
the best deal.
If I need a new gas contract or a new electric contract, I come to you, you find me the best deal, you line it up, job's a good one.
Yeah,
right.
and do all the paperwork.
Yeah, do all the paper, the boring shit, yeah.
That's
so what about Villamora then? What's that?
Well, Villamore started back in December 2019. Which ironically was 3 months before the whole world shut down because of COVID. So
that was bad timing.
Really bad timing. But what it did allow us to do was upload loads of new properties, make loads of new contacts across Europe mainly.
Yeah, because everything slowed down a bit, didn't it? So you give you time to do it.
Yeah. We weren't dealing with bookings, people turning up and the pool heating not being on, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So we're able to load up new properties to our website, get them on all of the main booking platforms.
So people literally go on your website, right, I want a villa here, book it through you, you're the middleman.
Yeah, we connect us and the manager abroad.
Brilliant.
They travel, they enjoy their holiday, they come back.
Nice. And then what about the telecoms then? How's that?
So telecoms is similar to the energy business kind of really. So they focus on B2B telecoms contracts. So that's broadband, mobile phones, landlines, cloud systems.
So just business.
Just business.
Just business, right.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if I've got a coffee shop down the road, I contact you, can you give me a cheap broadband, whatever?
Broadband phone. And also, if it's a coffee shop as an example, if they've got guests coming in every day, they might want to get their computer out, do a little bit of work while they're having a coffee. We'll do guest Wi-Fi as well, so you're doing data capture and things like that. Right,
okay, so if you need better broadband, he's your man. Adam, here you go, yeah. What's telecoms called?
Social Comms UK.
Social Comms, mega. So the interesting one at the moment, because everyone's just going crazy about utility bills. Obviously, I was on the TV the other day, dragged my ass up at 4 in the morning, be like, can you come on live TV? I'm like, yeah, go for it. What the hell's going on? What the frig's going on? These bloody Russians, or what? So in a nutshell, right, what's going on with, because I'm assuming you've got this question, because you've got so many clients, everyone's like, what's going on? Why the price going crazy? I don't think anyone knows. I think everyone's just regurgitating bullshit. My missus started saying to me last night, oh, well, it's this. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to say anything because I have no fucking idea. I'm going to ask Adam what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? You're probably right. A lot of people are just regurgitating the same stuff they see in the news, which is where everybody gets their information from.
Yeah.
And you're right in saying that not a lot of people actually know what's going on. Me included to a certain degree, because of course we only know what we find out and learn from suppliers.
Yeah, because you literally just get a platform. These are your prices. You can't do it about the prices,
daily market
can you?
reports. Of course, we can't do anything about them. No, we can only present what's available at the time. I mean, it all started coming out of COVID. Demand increased from the lowest demand we've seen in years.
Right.
So that was the first driver that really doubled the price in 2021.
So because no one was using electric,
prices went through the floor, and also oil dropped because all the airlines weren't flying, no one was driving anywhere because they weren't allowed.
So did the production stop of it then, or what? Did it slow down?
Production slowed down to a certain degree. OPEC controlled the oil levels, of course, and of course, generation for electricity dropped because we weren't using it.
Right.
But prices dropped substantially. We saw big lows, massive lows.
So in COVID, if you'd have snapped up some electric bills,
great deals.
Really?
Yeah. Now that's compounded now because everyone's coming out of those really low deals and entering a market that's seriously high.
And why has it gone high?
Well, first off, demand coming out of COVID. That doubled the price in 21.
Right. Just because people wanted more.
Demand went up through the roof, and of course.
Right. So do you think people just saw an opportunity when let's take advantage of this and let's destroy some people?
There was a lot of that.
So the top dogs, British Gas, all this, they just went, rack the prices up, let's get them.
Yeah, well, I wish it was people like British Gas, because that means our margin would increase, but unfortunately not. It's actually the wholesalers and producers of the oil and gas.
Okay.
The retailers, okay, British Gas do have a wholesale and production arm, but British Gas that we see on our bill, they're just retailers. They are buying off the same market everybody else. They don't have any margin.
Oh shit, really?
So to a certain people like BP, Shell, they're the ones that are absolutely cashing in right now.
Really? So
hence why the windfall tax is coming.
There's no need for the price. The price shouldn't really be going through the roof. They've just kind of gone and just squeezed.
Yeah. Well, it's
some
very
extent.
convenient with the Russia and Ukraine thing, because obviously Russia is a massive producer and wholesaler of gas. Now,
How much do we have from Russia? It's 10%, 20%?
less, 5%.
5%. So it shouldn't really be, it shouldn't do anything, should it really?
It shouldn't really at all, but we do have, of course, the wholesale market, which is global.
Okay.
Well, Russia have obviously got the main supply of gas into Europe.
Okay.
I think it was 50% when it first started.
Right.
And throughout this period of conflicts, they've turned the gas flow into into Europe, down substantially.
Okay.
Now that's not helped prices. There's been substantial pressure on the prices.
So to Europe, Russia were giving, they had a pipeline, so to speak, to Europe, and it actually accounted for 50% of Europe.
Yeah, into
we're not
places
Europe,
like
though,
Germany. No. Well, we are Europe, but we're not in the EU.
EU, we're not in EU yet,
No.
right? Okay, so ours might be 5%. Let's say Germany and stuff, they were actually 50%.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, right,
So they turned
okay,
all that
interesting.
off.
Right.
Literally. Well, they started
Turn off
ramping
the
it down.
pipes, the dickheads.
That's it. Yeah,
Really?
screw them over some more.
Oh
But
my
that puts
Lord.
serious pressure on the market. Now, because it's wholesale, we're all buying off the same market as everybody else.
Right.
We're affected by the same prices.
Right,
So
okay.
the price went through the roof. We use gas to create electricity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw my obviously when you sent me them figures for like bills and you were like, wait 1 second, it's going to go from £1,200 to £8,000. I'm like, shut the gyms quick, set up OnlyFans. You know what I mean? I was just like, what?
Consider it. That's what I'd say.
Oh my Lord! Honestly, I'm thinking, what's going on here? But do you think it'll chill out eventually?
We're expecting a price correction in February next year. Now,
Really? As in like 20%?
we'd like to see 20% plus. That would be fantastic.
Wow.
But there's rumours of 50% drops. But in reality, who knows?
I was going to say, like, once this 6-month cap disappears, I'm expecting the worst. I think they're just going to go, no cap, give it to them. Do you know what I mean?
There's a chance, and of course, you'll then come out of these contracts that we've secured, and you're going to go straight into those higher tariffs for the remainder of the contract, which is going to be expensive for everybody.
So really, all this is just bollocks at the moment, and they've just squeezed everybody for no real reason.
I wouldn't say it's bollocks, to be honest.
No, but you know what I mean? As in, like,
it's
there's a
not
bit
very
of a
nice, is it?
creation. Yeah.
It's manipulation to a certain degree.
Manipulation's the word, sorry,
and
right.
it's not very nice to see, because of course I have to deliver this news to business owners every single day.
Yeah.
And when I came to see you for yours, it's a bit of a shock, because it's in the news everywhere, but until you see it in your own pocket, you can't relate to it.
What's the worst you've seen so far for your client? What's like one that's just gone, like a mill somewhere local that was paying $5,000 a month, gone to 50? Do you know what I mean? Have you got an example where you saw, oh shit, how do I tell this guy?
I do have an interesting one actually. So there's this big housing company, and it's social housing. So it's people that have nowhere to live, have been moved out of their council houses, those kind of things. They move into this company's house or unit or flat or whatever it might be. They've got loads. Last year their invoice total was £1 million, give or take.
For gas and electric?
For gas and no, this was just their electricity bill.
Okay, just electric. £1
£1
million
massive
per year,
company.
right? Okay.
Nationwide as well. They're not local. The renewal I took out to them was £7.2 million.
So
and
1 million to
housing.
7 million. So everyone's getting destroyed.
Everyone.
Wow.
You can't escape it.
7 times.
For social housing, these guys they're supporting people that,
that
some of
can't.
them even have to pay their bill.
Wow.
And of course, they're not protected by the domestic price cap like we are at home.
That's mad.
It's crazy.
So before all this, because obviously now I'm assuming, being an entrepreneur, you have to make money. There was quite good money in this. Now I'm assuming you've been squeezed because you have to put very little sort of on the top, so to speak.
That's it. It's a margin game. It's not a percentage game. We have a particular price per unit that we include within the unit rates that we deliver to you as an example.
Yeah, of course.
That has reduced, of course.
Yeah.
But the bigger effect is the fact that these prices are so high that people have stopped using their electricity and gas.
Yeah, they turn it all down.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm running around gym. I'm like, turn that bloody heater off quick.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's where we're losing most of our money at the moment in terms of
Everyone's Using less.
Expected consumption, delivered consumption is at least 30% down.
So people are being quite clever and they're actually turning shit off.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I go around the house and I'll like go downstairs and my missus has like turned the kitchen into Blackpool illumination. It's like, Harriet, what are you doing? Turn them off. I'm like, just literally, she's just like running around the house like, da da da. And I'm like, please. I think that's just a guy thing, just turning shit off.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, get the plugs.
I've got this electric floor heating. It used to be £5 a day to run. It's now £30 a day to run. So I've just turned it off and I put carpet down.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say I'll just like lay on that and sleep on that and nowhere else. Yeah, shit, Jesus. Right, so that's consider. So do you think you've always been quite like entrepreneurial, so to speak? I remember, I think you did something in uni. What was your first business, sorry?
Well, first official limited company business was started off as a company called Faster Pasta Limited when I was at university.
Okay, so what uni were you at the time?
Huddersfield University. That's why I'm here actually. Originally from Cambridge, moved up for university, never went home.
Right, okay. Why Huddersfield Uni, by the way? Is it good for business or what were it?
It's
loads of
birds.
Enough,
I really fancied Newcastle.
Okay.
Mainly, well, potentially because of the birds, but
okay.
Huddersfield.
Good old Huddersfield birds. Come on.
Yeah, that wasn't the reason I picked Huddersfield, unfortunately. But I liked the setup of the business school because it was near enough new when I first came. The accommodation was reasonably decent, or certainly so it looked. But I never visited the place before I came. Well, really? Never visited before I moved in.
Oh wow! Sack it, Huddersfield to do, and then you was like, oh,
yeah,
what a shit.
Everything in my car.
Yeah,
off I came.
right.
I was like,
God.
Better go to the pub.
Right.
So when I started my second year, I started Faster Pasta.
So where did this idea come from?
It came from a friend of mine at university called Jeff. He came to me the idea, and I was like, I'll jump in with that, if that's an invite. And he was like, yeah, of course, let's do it. And we opened up in Queensgate Market.
Really? Queensgate in that horrendous, horrendous. I love Huddersfield, to be fair. I go around it and they're just like, oh God, I can't believe this is still here. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is devastating when you see shops go under and all the rest of it. But so in that little Queensgate Market, right, and what was it? A little stall selling pasta?
It was a shop, probably the same size as this boardroom, and we were just Subway, but for pasta. So you pick your pasta shape, you pick your sauce.
How many different shapes was there? I like my pasta. Oh wow, 6 different shapes.
Including like your gluten-free and your whole wheat, wholemeal.
Wow. What about like kids one? Was there like Paw Patrol pasta?
There wasn't, but that would have been great.
That would have been great.
Where were you back then?
Yeah. Right, so quite a big place. You pick your pasta, you pick your sauce.
Yeah.
Toppings?
Yeah, all the toppings.
Right, okay.
Literally like Subway.
Wow, so how much are we talking? How much did it cost to set this bad boy up? Did you go half in with this guy? How did you do it?
I think the first one we did on like a budget of $2-3 grand, but we were literally doing it ourselves, like covering bits of MDF in leather, and you'd sit on that.
Steal the ovens?
Pretty much, yeah. I think we borrowed them from
eBay. Yeah, Jesus God.
It was great.
Right, okay, and did it work?
Yeah, it did alright. It was breaking even, maybe slight profit at the end, with zero rent and zero bills, because that was the initiative that the university was running at the time. So we just simply took advantage of that.
Oh wow, so the uni actually managed to get free rent for anybody who wanted to...
I think you had to apply, and we happened to win that space.
Wow, that's incredible. Can you imagine if you got free units now?
Imagine. And free energy as well.
Hell, that's crazy. Right, okay, so what happened there then? Did you just sell the company? Did you fold it? What did you do? How long did you run for?
So the initial kind of seed phase, if you like, was 6 months.
Okay.
That started to wind down towards the end of the student year, so September time.
Right.
And at that time we got a challenge from a company in Australia because Faster Pasta was trademarked by them, or
oh, interesting.
I can't remember the details, but yeah, basically we had to change our name.
Oh God, well I had this with Prep. When I set up Prep, Pret a Manger came hunting for Prep.
It's not even the same
I know
thing.
it does. And I was like, I was speaking to a business partner at the time, and I'm thinking Pret a Manger. I was like, I feel absolutely, buzzing that Pret a Manger have seen Prep Kitchen Limited. Anyway, we had to like kind of change it to like Prep Food UK or something ridiculous. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing.
It's just crazy. So what did you do? What did you change your name to?
Well, we didn't have any money at the time, so I think we just said, we'll just change the name.
Right. Okay.
So we changed it to Twist's Pasta Bar. Which we applied for a TV show called Be Your Own Boss. Cool. We got on that. It was Richard Reed, the founder of Innocence Movies. He's actually a local lad, I think. He was based Kirkburton Way.
Right, okay.
Went down to London, went to Innocent HQ, did 4 weeks worth of filming. Right. And we were offered 1,500 quid seed funding, I think, initially. Or maybe it was $3 grand. I can't remember the details. Right. And then we won the final offer as well at something like 20 grand. Wow. But at that point, we finished university. Right. It took about a year for the whole process to go through. Okay. And I said to Jeff, I was like, look, guys, we can't run this business and both move to Huddersfield because it's not paying enough money for me and you to live here. Yeah. And Jeff decided to take on that business, and he made a success of it ongoing for quite a while, I think. Did he? Yeah, he did. It was on New Street in Huddersfield Town Centre for... A while.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember the
So
details.
there was only
but-
Huddersfield. He didn't have the like bigger picture of expanding everywhere like Bradford and Halifax and stuff. It was literally Huddersfield.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that was the long-term goal,
Right.
but I don't think it reached that, because that was at the start of New Street starting to demise, going down the,
Get
you
you.
know, just the
rougher.
the future of, a
Yes,
little bit, and
I
the
get you.
future of Huddersfield Town Centre was kind of moving towards a different area.
Shame that, because I do love town. You know what I mean?
It was a great business, and I loved it.
Right, did you enjoy that?
Yeah,
And did you have any fallouts with like money or anything with him? Or?
No, not at all. It was,
Really?
we took a loan from the bank to set up Twist, because that was a proper job on the high street, as opposed to,
Okay.
you know, let's make it and put it in the increase get market.
So
But,
did you get your money out of that then?
Um,
Or not?
the business, it was a business loan, so
Okay.
it stayed with the business. When
Okay.
when I resigned as a director, it stayed with the business.
Right, okay, get you. So would you class that as a success?
I would, yeah. I mean,
Okay, good.
I
You
learned
learnt a lot.
I learned a hell of a lot. Early
Yes.
days as well.
Yeah, I think you learn graft in your first ever business,
sure,
don't you?
for sure.
As in, like, you know, people might moan about, oh, I've got to come in and do this till this. It's like, we have no hours. You have to just live there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
it. We can't
Literally.
afford staff.
Yeah.
I remember, and I was a student as well, so I was still going out on a Wednesday night, getting in at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and being there at 7 the next day.
See, I think this is where you kind of come into your own. I think you've definitely got a lot more balance. I mean, me and you have known each other for a while now, and I know you definitely try and encourage me to have downtime. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
You've definitely cracked that, I think, which is quite good, because you've got a lot of businesses, you've got a lot of responsibility, a lot of money, playing around with a lot of money, I suppose, you know what I mean, which in turn is pressure. How do you kind of keep the balance? Do you just make sure you go do a couple of things a week?
Well, I think a lot of my work, I'm not going to say it's seasonal, but it's easily schedulable.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know my contract end dates, and I know the market on any given day. So if I came to you as an example for the unit and said, today's looks to be a good day to renew your energy, this is when it ends, this is why I'm suggesting this is up to you, then I can schedule my diary so easily that it allows me to plan my breaks as well.
Get you. So is there a general rule of thumb to give to other people that own businesses to, you know, help them achieve balance? Would you say make sure you have 6 short breaks a year, or make sure you do one thing a week? Is there something that you think in your head that you need to do to kind of keep you happy? Because I know you do. Do you do like a bit of football maybe, and then go for some drinks with the boys or whatever? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to keep fit as well, which
Yeah.
is quite helpful. So
Yeah.
squash,
Yeah, okay.
football, gym.
Yeah.
I mean, my gym I schedule in the morning, 4 days a week.
Okay.
Although, you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, okay, which is very real world, you know. Not
Yeah.
everyone just wakes up in the morning and go, yeah, gym. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? No one really does. You know
I'm
what I
getting
mean?
there.
Yeah,
And
it takes some
I
time.
do actually see it as a focus now, whereas, I flit in and out, to be honest, probably again, like most people do. During the summer, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't give me a time for a routine. And now the routine is kicking in, that allows me to schedule my downtime. Including the gym, including squash.
So that's still classed as like downtime.
Yeah,
really
of
now.
course.
Okay, all right.
Because
I get it.
anything that takes my head away from day-to-day running the business, I see as downtime.
Okay, get you. Right,
Because
okay.
I'm not switched on thinking about business.
Yeah. What would you say your like working hours are? Because I think a lot of people are always kind of shocked with how much work you must do if you own a business. So would you say you start work at, you know, what time and finish at what time? Is there some such thing as a finish for you?
That's an interesting question. I think at the start, I'd suggest that I was working a lot more hours. So during setup phase, I was working all the time.
So 6 till 11 at night. Sort of
Yeah,
thing, like,
and if
you know.
I'm not doing anything, I'm certainly thinking about it.
Yes.
And your brain just ticks over all the time. Whereas now, I mean, if I was still doing that now, it's 8 years ago since I started it, my brain would be hurting by now. So I've
Yeah.
had to learn to turn that off.
Yes.
But it's difficult still now. I mean, there's times now where I'll wake up and the first thing I think about is check emails. Have I done this today?
Yeah.
Is this going to be ready in time? Relying on other people to get stuff done for me, that kind of thing. So I've not fully mastered that yet, but I certainly am on the way to
Getting there.
Yeah, just turning off.
It's hard though, isn't it? It
It is
really is. That's the one thing that I really, really struggle with. And yeah, have you had any bad sort of, I don't know, business decisions, or have you had any like bad times where I know quite a lot of people have kind of used alcohol to like numb the stress of work and all the rest of it? Would you say you've had any sort of like weaknesses in the last like 8 to 10 years of business, or any vices that you think that could have, you know, finished
Yeah.
now?
I wouldn't say so, no. I'm quite lucky that I don't have that addictive personality where I don't go, right, I'm going to solve this problem by doing this instead. I don't go, right, I've had a bad week, I'm going to get absolutely hammered every night this week. I don't have anything like that.
Which is good.
I guess you could say I like the fitness, so if I don't play squash or I don't go to the gym, don't play football, whatever, I feel a bit grumpy and a bit down.
Okay, so yeah, you'd like to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So if
sure.
that falls out of the equation, then you suffer a little bit,
That's
right?
it.
Okay. So why do you think you're wired this way to be an entrepreneur? Because a lot of people go, I want to own my own business. No, you don't. I personally think 1 in 5, maybe 1 in 10 even, can do it. Because you just aren't, some people just are not cut out. People just want the security of going to a job, 9 to 5 and all the rest of it. Why do you think you are how you are? As in, were your parents really successful? Were you around successful people from a young age? How do you think you've got a screw loose? Because I think you do have to have a screw loose to do what we do.
Yeah, I don't think owning a business is for everyone. However, I do think everyone who has the opportunity to should try it. And I think if you get the right support network around you from an early day, from the early days when you first start, you can be successful. And I think I was lucky enough when I first started that I had a great network of friends around me first of all to pick me up when I was down, and when I'm high, keep me high. But also I had great support on a professional level, so I always had the contacts at university if I had any questions I wasn't sure about. I had a great accountant from day one. I had friends from back when I first started Faster Pasta that were happy to give me advice, and that support network really helped me through the hard early days where I had no cash. I never had any investment, so I literally started with zero and then went through that pain period until it wasn't zero.
So literally make sure that if you are going to do something, you surround yourself by people that you know are going to help you when you need it.
Yeah. But also it has to be like a mutual agreement. So I was more than happy to help them as well. It's just like a nice discussion forum, I call it, as opposed to using them to help you. So you're saying like networking almost, aren't you? Yeah,
in a nutshell.
Just keeping nice people close to you.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, to keep you up. So, but what's the story of when you were a kid then? Were your parents quite like successful? Were they quite driven? Because I do believe it kind of comes from somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, a little bit of a black sheep, I guess, because both of my parents worked in banking, but not investment banking, just high street banking. Both really successful in that. Is
this where the numbers things come from? Because you're like the number man, really.
I do like numbers. Yeah. That's all I'm good at, really. But yeah, that's probably where the numbers side of my brain comes from.
Yeah.
That and having a very secure upbringing. I was lucky to have a great family around me when I was younger that gave me that security to know that I can do whatever I want when I'm older, knowing that I've got them behind me.
Okay,
and
right.
That has actually stayed with me.
So in theory, you don't mind taking a few more risks because if that goes wrong, fuck it, I can guess that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean not financially, but I know that I could just go, I've messed up here. What should I do? And mum and dad just go, get a job, because that's their secure line is,
get a job,
employment, that kind of thing. And they'd be right, because if I messed up the business early doors, I'd have to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I get you. So, do you? I'm kind of going through this at the moment. I was actually with the doctors yesterday, and the guy just said, "Look, you're just just burnt out. So you just need to get yourself off sleeping pills, get yourself off this." Now I must have had burnout like so many times now. Literally, probably the worst it's been now. But then I've had a lot of shit going on. Yeah. So. Have you ever had this where you've just absolutely fried yourself by just working so much? Maybe at the initial stages of any business, have you ever experienced anything like that where you've always had a bit of a lull and you feel a bit like depressed?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I can think off the top of my head 3 or 4 times where I've probably found it a lot more difficult than general day to day.
Yeah. Getting up and
that's it. I mean, the first one's the obvious one. Going out on a Wednesday night at university, getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go and run a pasta shop.
Yeah.
You need your sleep. Sleep is number one.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then when I first set up Consider Energy, of course, the stress of having no money.
Yeah.
I had a mortgage in Huddersfield, and also I was renting in York, so I had effectively 2 houses to run.
Shit. Right.
That was a bit stressful at that time. Again, when this energy crisis first hit, that was pretty tricky to manage client expectations. And clients are key. If I didn't have any clients, I didn't have a business. So the pressure of keeping them up to date with what's going on is a priority for me at all times. And of course, right now, the news is more important than ever. So it's the first thing I need to do at the moment in the mornings when I put my head work on, my business head on. Is what's the news? Is there any updates from the government? What's going on in Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah, no one sent no nukes yet.
Yeah, that's it. Who's pressed the red button? That's
it. Do you expect, by the way, talking like war and all the rest of it, what do you think is going to happen there? Because I know you're good with news.
Yeah, well, I don't know about good with the news, but I'm a little bit worried with this new annexation of the areas of Donbass, and I don't know the geography that well, but I know it's obviously on the Russian. Is it east side?
Okay, right.
I don't know either.
So,
but yeah, it's going to be tricky because with the annexation of that, Putin's going to effectively think that any attack on that area is attack on Russian soil. And what does that cause? And then
more
you've got,
drama.
Exactly. And then
You'd never come our way, you don't think?
well, NATO, they've applied for NATO, haven't they? Ukraine. Now,
Right.
if they get in, then who knows?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That bad?
I don't know.
Have
I
we
don't
got
know
troops
the-
in there now, currently?
No.
Have we not?
No,
Good.
no.
Leave the troops out.
Yeah.
We don't want to be
Well, not as far as we know. We're just
Right.
in the news, aren't we?
Right, yeah,
I
it's a
don't,
good
I don't
point.
know. It's really risky over there, but I do know that it's affecting our market daily.
As long as the energy prices come down, we're all safe. I genuinely do think there's going to be so many businesses that go under this next year.
Yeah.
Honestly,
We-
if you're a business owner and you've got a bit of liquid capital and your business is doing okay, do not
safe.
spend anything. Keep your money and be prepared because you might be able to nick some. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm just expecting a lot of gyms to go under, and if I've got some reserve and I don't spend any money now and I can survive it, I might just pinch
Yeah.
another gym or two.
Yeah,
You know what
I think you're right. I think one, prices are high. Everybody knows that, and that's not just energy; it's across the board. But also, with the recession predicted in the next 3, 6, 12 months, depending on what you read, your business is going to be hit at both ends.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be a tricky 12, 24 months for sure.
Strap in, lads. That's what I say.
That's it. Get ready.
Get ready for that. What would you say, right, to anybody from let's say I'm 16 to 20, that sort of age. I'm starting out. I want to own my own business. How do I go about it? In a nutshell, if I took everything away from you now, how would you get it back?
Yeah, good question. I think first off, something I mentioned earlier is the fact that I would get a good support network of friends, business contacts around me, so that I've got support all the way through.
Have you done the whole Andrew Tate thing? Have you seen his
I didn't see it.
So Andrew Tate's got this like a war room, and he's got people that are like-minded that would like die for each other, and they're all going to go like take over the world. So that is a support network,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
you know
that kind of thing.
brilliant, right? Okay, because get your support network down, right? Okay.
Know your product, know your margins.
Okay.
That's the basics.
But what happens if I don't have a business yet? Because I would instantly just go get as many jobs as possible, work as much as I can, save as much money. Then I've got capital.
To
Do
be
you
fair,
know what I mean?
I'll probably do the same kind
Yeah,
of thing, but
yeah.
from the start of the business, like I did with the energy business, like
Yeah.
start with zero, but I earned the money through that business.
Get you. Okay, to
so-
put into other businesses.
Well, yeah, at that time it was just to survive, but then eventually, obviously, to put into other businesses.
Right.
And the third thing would be just simplify everything. Like follow a process,
Yeah.
simplify it,
Set some
follow
goals
it,
then, in a
set
nutshell.
some goals.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because quite a lot of people, I mean, I kind of went, right, I'll do a gym. I didn't actually think of doing long-term goals like 3 gyms, 5 gyms, 10 gyms, do you know what I mean? And once you kind of get to, you know, I did 2 gyms, I was like,
Need a third.
next. Do you know what I mean? So I do think goal setting, but almost do like Grant Cardone sort of 10x sort of, make sure you like set some like almost unrealistic targets,
Yeah.
and then it kind of keeps you kind of moving forward, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause-
I think it's worth having like an ultimate amazing goal if you absolutely smash it.
Yes.
But equally, I think it's worth, you know, getting the first part of the business right, business right, and being comfortable in that space first. But also not burning yourself out,
yeah.
because then
Which-
you're never going to get there.
It all depends how you kind of learn from your mistakes, I suppose, because I'm definitely one of these that I have to make some mistakes to learn them. You know,
Yeah.
like first gym, I lost so much money in the first 2 years, and everyone was like, "What are you doing? You were earning so much PT in, and now you're just burning it." And I'm just like, "Oh shit, I can make it work." And do you know what I mean? Because I'm more one of these. Well, I'll just outwork everyone, and it'll just work, won't
Yeah.
it? Do you know what I mean? Instead of outsmart them, I'm kind of getting to the whole outsmart, but. At least I've got my work drive just in case there's something.
Yeah, if you've got both,
so-
I mean, then you're going to win, aren't you?
Well, this is it, yeah. This is it. How did you get into energy? What made you think, you know what, energy is what I want to do?
Yeah, well, I originally lived just outside of Cambridge in a very green area.
Okay.
So renewable energy is it's been down there for years.
As in like solar and...
solar,
Yeah.
turbines, wind turbines.
Okay,
And after university, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do.
okay.
Not literally not a clue. So
You've done
I,
your pasta thing and you thought,
yeah,
well, I
that
need
didn't
to
work.
do something
Well,
else,
it didn't
right?
work for me.
Yeah,
So had to get a job. So I applied for a job at a local energy firm that I believed was renewable energy at the time.
okay,
It looked very green on the website. Did a bit of research, looked okay.
right,
Applied for an simple admin role.
okay. Which was just inputting data,
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Um,
which you were better than that, by the way, weren't you?
well, it's probably
Yeah.
better that than sales.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the time they were like, "Oh, I don't think you're right for this role, but we'll chuck you into a sales role." it wasn't quite as simple as that. There was probably another couple of rounds of interviews.
Yeah. Just sit on this desk instead.
Sit
Pal,
there
see
and
what
get
happens.
a phone. Turned out that wasn't a renewable energy firm specifically, but it was an energy consultancy.
Okay.
So after working my way through the sales roles from junior up to senior, and then opening a new office for the same company down south, I thought, I could probably have a go at this myself.
How long was that then? How long did you do it for?
18 months I was there.
Oh wow, that was quick. You
thought that
literally
was
stole the business after a year. What a boss. This guy is top G, isn't he? Jesus, right, okay. So you went, sack this, I'm only getting a little bit of this, I want the whole lot.
Yeah, well, I didn't, of course, when you leave a reasonably high-level sales role, you don't get access to the clients, you have to abide by the contractual obligations afterwards. And
you have to give him some brown envelopes and steal the clients back.
Yeah, if only
by the way, I know
envelopes.
this guy, yeah.
What was I going to fill it with?
Yeah. God.
So stuck to my contractual obligations, started out with all of my own clients,
Okay.
and continued from then on, really.
Brilliant. So you left on good terms, did you? It wasn't frosty?
Good with most.
Okay,
not
all right. Okay, yeah. all right. So you also tried to dip your foot in the water in the food and drink industry,
Following
didn't
on
you?
from Faster Pasta, of course.
Okay, yeah, all right. You thought, you know what, I'm shit out of pasta,
Let's
I'm
go
going to
back
start
in.
burgers. So you bought 50% of Pax Burger, it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you changed it into...
I didn't change it. Well, the moment that I passed over my 50%,
Yeah.
it was still called Pax Burger. Because
Okay.
my kind of plan for that business was to keep it as Pax Burger, but try and develop it,
Yeah, make it better.
increase sales.
Yeah,
That's it.
Of course, because it was already... I'm assuming you bought a business that worked.
Yeah, it was operating, staff,
Okay.
turnover,
Yeah.
processes,
Right.
suppliers.
And then was there just a bit of a disagreement with you and your business partner in this, like for the branding? Because I know it rebranded and then it went all over the place.
Yeah, well, it rebranded after I moved on, but I think me and my business partner for that business, we just had different views on where we wanted to take it.
So you wanted to keep it as is, but just polish it.
Yes.
He wanted to go, let's go something different.
Yeah, and there's a few unfortunate events that happened on the way during that period as well. But
What was the lesson learned?
lesson learned is
Don't go into business with people. Don't do
I
it.
can't say that one.
Oh no! Do you know what? It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard going into business with anyone. I think
Yeah.
because the amount of people that go, oh well, I've got a bit of savings. You've got a bit of savings as well. Yeah, let's do something together.
Yeah.
No, if you guys are friends, don't do it.
No, don't make decisions drunk is a rule that I'll stick
Well,
to.
there you go. I could definitely go into business with you because I trust you 100%. You don't need anything from me. I don't need anything from you. That's a good start for one, right? But there has to be clear roles in a business.
Yeah.
You do it. If it's something gym related, you trust me to do it. If it's something energy or whatever, villas, you do it. Let me know if you need my help. But there needs to be clear roles. As soon as there's too many chefs in the kitchen, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I do think that is the truth. Do you know, it'd be like you with your photography, videography. If you had too many people giving you different ideas, oh, you should do it this way with sepia and this lens. What a load of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, leave me to it, crack on.
Yeah.
You know what I
Know
mean?
your strengths and weaknesses for sure.
That's it. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Well, it's been amazing. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
If anyone else wants to speak about what's going on in bloody Russia and bloody energy crisis, we'll get Adam back on, won't we? Yeah. So thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, mate.